Meet Lawrence Lewis. He's your typical Maryland suburbanite. A family man with 2 daughters, Lawrence has a dog, owns a home, and looks after his elderly mother.
What's up, Mom? Get ready to go to work.
Lawrence Lewis also has a criminal record. But it's how he got his record where the story lies. Unlike his 3 brothers who met a violent end, Lawrence was determined to stay out of trouble.
My brothers was murdered. You know, I had 3 brothers, and all 3 of them was murdered, and that brought a kind of pain that I never want to experience again. It's still a day, like once a year I take my children back to where I grew up at, back to that same project, and let them know, look, you got a choice in life. You can live this way, or you can live how you're living in Bowie today.
Instead, he worked 2 jobs to provide for his family and eventually obtained his building engineer's license. In 2005, Lawrence was hired at the Knollwood Military Retirement Residence in Northwest Washington, D.C. As a building engineer, Lewis was responsible for the physical operation of the facilities, keeping the lights on, the climate systems running, and making sure the plumbing worked properly.
Everyone that lived there was elderly people, retired officers from the military, and many of them was wearing Pampers or adult diapers. And so often that's what we got out of the drains when we go in there.
Knollwood's sewage system frequently backed up, a problem that existed many years before Lawrence worked there. To prevent overflows into the building, his staff did what they had always done. They diverted the sewage into an alternate sewage drain, unknowingly running afoul of a law they never knew existed.
The ground floor of that facility is where the hospice-like area was, where the most critically ill people was. And then if it was a difficult stoppage, it'll flood out in their areas first. And my thinking was, we can't let nothing happen to them.
His staff got the problem under control by mid-afternoon, and Lawrence left work for the day. Little did he know that the situation was far from resolved.
I got a call, and my phone kept ringing, a lot of calls, and one of the people on the phone was a thorough investigator from, I believe, the Park Service, and he said he wanted me to return back to work immediately.
Lawrence returned to the developing situation at Knollwood, unsure of what to expect.
Entering the parking lot, I seen like 30 or 40 vehicles out there, emergency vehicles, and I'm like, oh, what in the world?
And then the government's bully tactics began.
They took me in the building, into my office, and they indicated to me that unless you give us a written statement implicating the generals and the captain having personal knowledge and authorizing this to be done, that you go into jail a day.
Lawrence struggled to figure out why something that had been done for years at Knollwood was suddenly an issue.
The 4.5 years that I was at the institution, the courses I took related to engineering, they all provided technical knowledge of the trade itself and not regulations. There was no regulation courses at all.
The government turned an innocent sewage mishap into a major ordeal, intimidating Lawrence into implicating his superiors.
I can't sign something that can destroy or damage someone else's career because someone else wants me to do that. And that's the type of thing I teach my children. Now, you know, you got to be an independent thinker. You got to do what's right, regardless of whether it's popular or not.
Lawrence later learned that the drain they used to divert the sewage emptied out a few blocks away in Rock Creek Park. He was charged with violating the Clean Water Act, facing a substantial fine and up to 5 years in prison.
I was subsequently arrested, fingerprinted, and mugged at the main precinct downtown Washington, D.C., and charged with a federal felony offense of Clean Water Act.
During a pre-trial hearing, the government's case against Lawrence was challenged by his defense attorney, who claimed that he had never heard of the law that the government was using to charge Lawrence. Neither had the judge.
Obviously for me, but these people in law, inside the system, I'm outside of it. So I don't see how in the world anybody expected me to know if the people in the mainstream of it, a judge and attorney, it's not even aware of the laws.
Neither the Knollwood facility nor any of Lawrence's superiors were prosecuted for this incident. He was urged to plead guilty in order to face a reduced charge.
I pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor for something that still bothers me today, because I pleaded guilty to something I didn't do.
Lewis was sentenced to a year of probation and 6 months of community service. Although his legal ordeal was over, it had taken a toll on him and his ability to do his job at Knollwood.
2 months after conviction, I resigned from my position, gave the organization a 30-day notice. I just couldn't bear coming back into there every day, reliving this stuff over and over. It was just too much for me.
So what were the long-term effects of this ordeal on Lawrence?
It began with a lot of anger, then drifted to depression, to want to prevent somebody else from going through what I went through. And then I'm done, you know, I got crushed.
As it turns out, what Lawrence authorized wasn't unprecedented. Local municipalities across the country mix sewage with storm drain water by design. So was his conviction really necessary?
All over America, the sewage and the storm drains integrate, including D.C. So if the government doing it, why would it be illegal for an institution to do it?
Lawrence Lewis and others like him have been ensnared in the web of overcriminalization, fighting a government that believes, regardless of intent, that you're guilty until proven innocent.
The way we're going today with these new laws, no one's safe from being prosecuted for things they're not aware of. It's enough bad guys in our society. We don't want to destroy good families for reasons that they don't even understand.